question on how to act when one has the upper hand in a battlefield.
My people, it's not new to you about what has happened in my country, Kenya, and what's going on. The president decided to introduce Financial Bill 2024 that contains high taxation on specified and assorted basic commodities. Upon understanding well the Financial Bill 2024, Kenyans rejected and termed it dead on arrival. The bill went to the parliament for its amendment process, and it turned up that higher percentage of leaders supported it and voted yes to be passed, for it to be passed, not putting into consideration the kind of trauma and stress with high taxation it's going to cause to the citizen. You know, at this point, they were doing it. Only putting into consideration the taxes they are going to pluck from the common mwananchi, the Kenyan citizen, forgetting about their own salaries, high salaries, and the luxurious life they are living. The characters portrayed by the leaders after taking the Financial Bill 2024 for its amendment process shows that these people, after being elected, they possess a disorder. We can term it as a disorder, whereby they only think about themselves but forget about those people who voted them. During these periods, the Kenyan citizens were protesting online against the Financial Bill 2024 because they have already seen the kind of injuries it is going to cause on them. But immediately they reached a point whereby they couldn't hold on. They took the protest to the streets. During the amendment process, Kenyans took their protest furthermore to the parliament, where their leaders were having sittings. Bold and brave was not the best meal for the politicians. Immediately, Kenyans stormed the parliament. They had to run helter-skelter for their own safety via the underground tunnel, except whom later on they escorted or wheeled him out and gave him security so that he couldn't be attacked.
Within a twinkle of an eye, we hear that our young men were already coming through, and everybody now were looking for an escape route. Unfortunately, where there is what we call an evacuation route out, it's not friendly to the users of wheelchair, and it was getting worse. And then we chose with my sister, Honorable Rose Museu, who is working on crutches. We made a choice to face the young men. We stayed in what we call the private members' lounge. They looked at me and they said, "We know you, you are a good man, and we want to request that you allow us escort you out of the building, because what might happen any time from now may not be good for you, both of you. But we are not bad people. We are only agitating for what we think and we believe it is our right. And they walked us out to a safe place.
Inside the parliament cafeteria, the Kenyan protesters felt at home, ate food, and some went ahead lamenting that the food was not having salt, despite them paying tax. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my country, Kenya. At the parliament, police started shooting at the protesters and armed individuals. Imagine live ammunitions. Sincere condolences to the families and people who lost their loved ones. Late night on the day of the protests, during the press briefing, the president said that the protesters were criminals and goons.
Today, Kenya experienced an unprecedented attack on its democracy, rule of law, and the integrity of its constitutional institutions. An otherwise legitimate expression of the fundamental rights and freedoms of assembly, demonstration, picketing, and petitioning of public authorities by a section of law-abiding citizens of the Republic of Kenya was infiltrated and hijacked by a group of organized criminals. I have directed all the organs of our national security to deploy measures to thwart any attempt by dangerous criminals to undermine the security and stability of our country.
Kindly stay humble and listen to the speech. Who do craft speeches to African leaders?
Today's events mark a critical turning point on how we respond to grave threats to our national security. I assure the nation that the government has mobilized all resources at the nation's disposal to ensure that a situation of this nature will not recur again at whatever cost.
As a Kenyan, my question is, was he declaring war against Kenyan citizens?
I want my grandson. If not that, Ruto, I'm coming and Gui yangu State House. And I mean it. Afadhali ungeliniua mimi. Sikuwa. I don't know where he is. Kutoka wakati huo Githurai. Where is my grandson? Ruto ndio. Ishmael. 21 years old. Yeah. Why is he? Ruto ndio alifanya hiyo maneno yote. Ruto, utanipatia huyo mtoto ama unipatie wako? Si wako umeficha? Nimkose hiyo mochari mnaniambia. Nikaenda kuangaliwa. Wai Ruto ni wana. Tuongerie dashigana. 15 tena ya kutumalizia watoto. Ruto, uko na adabu. Someone 100 times.
Anaitwa nani huyo mtoto?
Ishmael. Kamau. Ishmael. Ruto nipatie mtoto wangu. Ruto, nimekwambia unipatie mtoto wangu. Sina mchezo. Ninakuja State House mguu. Na utanipatia huyo mtoto. Unipiga risasi mara 20. I might not die. Seeking for my grandson. Utatoa wako wanakura, wetu wanahangaika. Let me tell the truth. Wake wanakura, wetu wanahangaika. You could not have imagined kutoa ati amri. Are you chosen or you chose you? Shame on you understand. I want my grandson. And I need that boy. Wewe ndio utakuwa kwangu wewe. Utakuwa ukinipatia chakula. Ama ulipe hiyo shule. You have to pay.
Following the statement by the president during the press briefing, late that night, a full force was used at Githurai 45, whereby dozens of people lost their life. The following day, the president conceded and said that he won't sign the bill and took it back to the parliament.
I concede, and therefore I will not sign the 2024 finance bill, and it shall subsequently be withdrawn, and I have agreed with these members.
Yes, were people to die, some get injured, and properties get destroyed, is when Mr. President could reject the bill and send it back to the parliament. Imagine, during the protest, a policeman in civilian witnessed his brother being shot dead in front of him. To the police, why open fire, shooting live ammunition to an armed, peaceful protester and then end up killing your own blood? Despite all these scenarios and events, Kenyans have taken another directions where they are now calling upon Mr. President to leave. Wow! Sometimes, we need just to smile. When, there is a proverb that says that when you are serving someone, check on the plate you are using, because you never know. And on the other hand, some said, when you see someone shaved and you are almost, you are nearby to each other, ensure that your hair is watered. But, by the way, meanwhile, the leaders, members of parliament who supported the financial bill 2024 and voted yes for it to be passed so that Kenyans can be taxed highly, are now finding it difficult to live within the communities since they are being attacked in public places and their properties are getting destroyed and even burned down. A wise man once said that people learn from mistake. Okay? So the politician who happened to supported the bill for high taxation and voted it yes, just clearly seen it to what has been happening to their fellows, whereby their properties were getting destroyed, they're being attacked in public. And these fellows who have been reached went ahead and started apologizing publicly. Fantastic. As I quote, "I am sorry." And the wife had a t-shirt, "We are sorry." Following loss of life during last Tuesday protest, Kenyan citizen dedicated 30th June 2024, a day to mourn their loved one, and a candle lighting day at Jivanji, Nairobi, whereby they went ahead and even sang the national anthem of Kenya as they mourn their loved ones. After the candle lighting event, Kenyan patriots took their walk to Kenyatta National Hospital for blood donation activity, where they were appealing to everyone to do a blood donation to this injured personnel who happened to be on the wrong side of the road during the protest last Tuesday. This is a congratulatory message to the Kenyan patriots, Generation Z, the current generation. It's a revolution you're bringing back at home. Continue with the same spirit. It's bringing change. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, don't forget to subscribe if you want to. I'm your guy, Smuggy the Ribbon.